Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a pretty intense philosophical saga. It's all about creation, destruction, and the rise of this totally chaotic new power in a world that has, for all intents and purposes, already ended. So, our story clicks off right in the aftermath. They call it the Great Surrender. But this wasn't some epic battle. It was more like a transaction. Humanity basically traded its will, its drive for comfort. And what's left? Just this gray wasteland of ideas, a world totally locked in a cosmic stalemate. And in this gray, silent landscape, you've got these two opposing forces holding everything in a kind of perfect, if eerie, balance. So on one side, you have Mephistopheles, the Watcher on the throne. He's ruling from his Tower of Inferno, looking down over the so-called last men. These are the people who found a safe, comfortable, golden cage. And then on the other side, you've got Wutan, a solitary creator, the meaning of the earth, whose one single emerald spire is this incredible, defiant act of will against all that grayness. So that's the established order, right? It's basically a cold war between the spirit who denies, the one offering that sweet oblivion, and the lonely, sovereign will that dares to create something. It's total security versus a terrible but beautiful freedom. But what happens when this static, two-sided fight is about to be completely shattered? A new player is about to enter the game, and here's the kicker, he couldn't care less about the rules. And he comes from the terrifying depths of the human condition. This new, disruptive force emerges, and he represents a fundamental break from everything that came before. This figure, the Jester, well, he's no benevolent savior coming to help the masses, not at all. He's the mountain man of self-love, this force of pure, radical individualism who looks at the comfortable world and just sees flies in a marketplace. He isn't driven by things like compassion or duty. His heart is a conflagration, a massive fire of self-creation, and it's fueled by what's called a new, dangerous selfishness. His whole purpose is to be an accelerant. Yeah, he's a torchbearer, but not to provide warmth and comfort for the herd. No. His goal is to create incendiaries, other free spirits who will help him burn away the comfortable, cowardly existence of the last men. And with this malicious joy, he delivers his own inverted beatitudes. He doesn't bless the meek or the poor in spirit. He blesses the despisers, the lonely ones, the people who have the guts to shatter old values and create their own. You see, he's not looking for law or for a contract. He seeks to affirm amor fati, a love of one's fate. And it's this terrible, all-encompassing love for everything that is, embracing the joyful, dangerous burden of what you can become. So the crucial point here is this. The game is not a two-way struggle anymore. The Jester represents a third, sovereign power. He's like a new kind of sun rising over a world of ruins. The whole conflict is now redefined. It's no longer just creation versus negation. Now it's a rivalry between two different forms of the creative will. It's a battle of heights versus depths. And this comparison just illustrates their approaches perfectly. You've got Wotan, the overman, who builds this huge, flourishing monument, a physical testament to the will. The Jester, on the other hand, he becomes the conflagration, the fire itself. His path is a subtler, more poisonous metamorphosis. He's not trying to build a new law. He's aiming to forge entirely new values out of the absolute void. But just when the Jester seems like this unstoppable, magnificent force, Wotan, from way up on his emerald spire, issues this absolutely stunning critique. He reveals this hidden, darker potential within the Jester's philosophy, a kind of fatal flaw in his beautiful rebellion. And this critique, it builds to the story's ultimate philosophical twist. It turns out the Crimson Jester has a shadow self, a nihilistic counterpart. Meet the Sapphire Jester, the redeemed judge. And this guy? This is not the creator of new values. This is the ultimate agent of anti-creation. He's an enforcer of some higher plan that wants to correct the so-called errors of existence. His philosophy is this terrifying inversion of justice. In his courtroom, the only crime is existence itself. The sentence? The total annihilation of your individuality. And the ultimate goal? A necessary correction to erase all the beautiful, messy errors of just being. He preaches what's called the gospel of the belly, and it's designed to convince individuals that their uniqueness is a bug, not a feature. The whole point is to make the weight of freedom feel so unbearable that people willingly beg to be absorbed into some singular, empty hole. And this brings us to Wotan's final rebuttal. He actually admits that the jester's power is a magnificent, destructive spark. It's a necessary reaction that exposes the world's foolishness. But, and this is the key, he argues it is only a reaction. The overman's will, he says, is an action. It's the unyielding hearth that doesn't just spark, but actually sustains the flame of creation through the long winter. Wotan's final command really frames the ultimate challenge here. The jester can burn down the old world, no problem, but he can't build the new one. Wotan's charge is to move beyond the laughter and the rebellion and to take on the difficult, joyful burden of actually making something new. And that leaves us with the central question, doesn't it? In a world that's drowning in delusion, which is the greater act of will? Is it the cleansing fire that burns away all the rot? Or is it the creative hearth that patiently builds something new in the ashes? The choice between them is what defines our future.